Good morning, Stratomatic fans. You are joining Combat Painter in his replay of the 2016 Mets season. I am at game 123, keeping stats of about 10 players. And today we are in San Francisco, and the Mets will be sending Bartolo Colon to the mound, facing Matt Moore, acquired, I believe, from the Tampa Bay Rays. And we are about to get started. Reyes, Cabrera, and Cespedes will be the top three batters. Reyes at third base, Cabrera at shortstop, and Yoenis Cespedes in left field, followed by Walker batting fourth, Flores at the first baseman batting fifth, d'Arnaud, the catcher, batting sixth, Ruggiano in center field batting seventh, De Aza in right field batting eighth, and Colon, the ninth place batter. And here goes play ball. It's 3-6, and that's going to be off Reyes' card, and that's a swing and a miss, and Reyes down on strikes. Now Moore struck out 69 batters in 68 innings pitched with the San Francisco Giants in 2016. Next is Drupal Cabrera, having a tremendous season this year with the Mets so far, batting about .330, leading the league in a few different categories. 2-5, and that's going to be a split die line drive, and that's a base hit to left field. I'm sorry, to right field. So Cabrera's on with a single. Yoenis Cespedes is the batter. And that's 4-8. That's going to be off Matt Moore's card, and that's a split die, and that's a line drive base hit to left field for Cespedes. Stopping at second is going to be Cabrera. First and second now. And it's Neil Walker after a few days sitting out. He's back in the lineup. It's 1-3, and that's ball four. So the bases are loaded. Matt Moore walks Walker, and that loads the bases. It's Walker at first, Cespedes at second, and Asdrubal Cabrera at third base. Wilmer Flores batted .267 with 16 home runs. So his one column is the tough column for the pitcher. See what we roll, and that's going to be a 5-6. A 5-6 is going to be a swing and a miss, and Flores down on strikes for out number two. And there's going to be Travis d'Arnaud, .247 batter with 4 home runs in 2016. Here's the pitch. It's a 2-6. It's a ground ball right at the shortstop, Brandon Crawford, and he steps on the bag for out number 3. So the Mets leave the bases loaded here in the top of the first. They do not score. We go to the bottom half of the first. Denard Span, .266 batter with 11 home runs. Here's the pitch from Bartolo, Big Sexy Colon, 15-8 with a .343 ERA. It's 2-9, and that's a hard hit ground ball, but right at the second baseman Walker. Throws out Span. Next is Angel Pagan. It's a comebacker right to Colon. Very agile for his size. Throws out Pagan. Now, the question is, where are they now? Where is Angel Pagan right now? That's an interesting question. 3-8, and that's ball 4. So Brandon Belt walks. Bartolo Colon doesn't walk many. 2-7. That's going to be a line drive base hit for Buster Posey, and Belt is going to stop at second base. First and second now, you have Brandon Crawford, who batted .275. It must be, that glare must be terrible. Glare must be terrible, so let's put it there. Okay. Um, Brandon Crawford batted 275 with 12 home runs. Here's the pitch from Cologne. It's off Cologne's card 4-4. And that's going to be a fly ball center field X. Center fielder Ruggiano, a 3. And that's going to be a 1. And that's going to be a ball that Ruggiano runs down for out number 3. So the Giants leave 2 on. And at the end of 1, no score. Happy Cinco de Mayo. It's the 5th of May. Here in San Antonio, it's a big celebration. Here's the pitch from Matt Moore to Justin Ruggiano. 1-4, and that's a line drive and base hit for Ruggiano. Ruggiano on at first. And it's Alejandro De Aza now in the minor leagues and doing pretty well, batting well over 300 in the minors. 3-7, and that's a swing and a miss. De Aza down on strikes. Third strikeout for Moore in the first out of the inning. Cologne is up next. Cologne's going to bunt. And that it looks like a successful sacrifice. Batter's thrown out. So out number 2, and to second is Ruggiano, and it's going to be Reyes now. Jose Reyes, the batter, he struck out in his first at bat, and that's going to be a 2-12, and that's ball 4. So runners on first and second now. Reyes has got good speed. And Cabrera, 3-5, and that's going to be a deep drive. A deep drive, and that's going to be one hop off the wall. Around to score is going to be Ruggiano, and they're going to wave Reyes home. And Reyes scores, and that's going to be a double for Cabrera, a 2-run double for Asdrubal. Asdrubal is 2 for 2 now. A single and a double. And it's Yoenis Cespedes. .110, and that's a ground ball right at the third baseman, Nunez. Guns it to first, and that's the third out. But the Mets pick up 2 big runs here in the top of the second. And after an inning and a half, it's Mets 2, Giants zip. Hunter Pence is going to be leading it off for the Giants. 3-3 ground ball right at Reyes. Reyes guns it to first, out number 1. That's 5-7, and that's going to be a strikeout. Out number 2, so Nunez down on strikes. Eduardo Nunez, a late season acquisition by the Giants. It's going to be 5-6 now. 5-6 is going to be a fly ball lifted to right field. De Aza measures it. And that's 3 outs. We go to the top of the third now. It's going to be Neil Walker leading it off. Neil Walker. Here's the pitch from Matt Moore. 1-4, and that's a deep drive to center field, and back goes the center fielder Span to the track, to the wall, looks up, it's out of here. Home run, Neil Walker. Mets lead it 3-0 now. And Wilmer Flores struck out in his first at bat. Here's the pitch from Matt Moore. It's going to be a 5-10. That's going to be a hard hit ground ball right at the shortstop, Crawford. Crawford is a 1. And that's a 13. And that's going to be a ball that Crawford fields over to first. 1 away. And it's Darno who hit into a fielder's choice. He forced out in his first at bat. 1-5, and that's a ground ball right at Crawford again. Fields it, guns it to first, out number 2. And next is Justin Ruggiano, who singled and scored a run in the second inning. And it's 3-4, and that's a ground ball right back to Moore. fields his position, and out number 3. So after the home run, the solo shot by Neil Walker, and that is, we can actually look and see, that is Neil Walker's number, he's actually one of the players that we're keeping stats for. That is Neil Walker's I don't know why he's not here. Let's take a quick look. Should be here. Cespedes, Granderson. Okay. May have left him in another area. Probably did. Yeah, that's Neil Walker's. There's everyone games played. Huh. Oh, okay, I have him. That's his 24th home run. See, here you have his stats. Neil Walker, 102 for 400, 23 home runs, 55 RBIs, 255 batting average. So that's his 24th home run. He has about another 10, 15 at bats to go before he's done for the season. So he's almost identical to what he did during the Mets year. All right, so that's the bottom of the third. Mets lead it 3-0. And it's going to be Matt Moore leading it off. For Matt Moore's a 1 card, a 1 pitcher hitting card. So we have that here. Here's the pitch from Bartolo. It's going to be off Bartolo's card, a 4-8. And that's a ball hit up the middle and through for a base hit. So Moore gets on base. And it's Span. Pitch to Span. It's a 5-9. A 5-9 is a deep drive off Cologne's card. And that ball is out of here. 2-run shot for Denard Span. It's 3-2. Mets up now. And it's going to be Angel Pagan. Cologne wishes he had that pitch back. A fastball that just caught too much of the plate. 1-8, and that's a line caught by the shortstop, Cabrera, for out number 1. So Pagan is down for the second time, and it's Belt who walked his first at bat. And that's 4-11. It's a fly ball left field. X, our left fielder, is Cespedes, a 3, and that's a 2. And that's going to drop in there, and hustling around first is Belt. He's going for 2. Here's a throw from Cespedes, and he's safe in under the tag. So Belt with a 1-out double. Tying run now at second base with only 1 out, and it's Buster Posey here in the bottom of the third. It's a 3-4, and that's a ground ball right back to Cologne. And he is going to ground ball A. Other runners advance 1 base, so hustling over to third is going to be Belt with 2 outs now. And it's going to be Brandon Crawford. So at third is Belt, 2 outs, and Brandon Crawford. Here's the pitch from Cologne. It's going to be off Cologne's card, a 4-2, and that's going to be a fly ball. Lifted to left field. A few steps in as Cespedes makes the catch for out number 3. So the Mets get out of that jam with a tying run at third base, and they still lead it 3-2 here going to the top of the 4th. It's going to be De Aza, Cologne, and Reyes. Here's the pitch to De Aza from Matt Moore, 2-6. And that's going to be a line drive base hit, single for De Aza. And Cologne's going to bunt. He squares, and that's going to be a 9. Batter is safe. Oh no, it's a fielder's choice. So Cologne fails on the sacrifice. And they throw out De Aza. So there's 1 away, and Cologne is at first now. It's going to be Reyes, Jose Reyes, the batter. Pitch from Moore, 1-6. And that's popped up left side. Shortstop Crawford is there for out number 2. And Asdrubal Cabrera, who's 2 for 2, a single and a double with 2 RBIs. So 1-11. And that's a ground ball right back to Moore. Feels his position. Out number 3. So we go to the bottom of the 4th, 3-2 Mets. It's going to be Pence, Nunez, and Panic. That's going to be 4-4 off Cologne's card. That's center field X. Center fielder is a 3. We rolled a 16. And that's the ball Ruggiano gets to. F8, 1 away. Nunez is up next. It's 5-4. That's a ground ball shortstop X. And it's a 2. Our shortstop Cabrera is a 2. And that's a ball that Cabrera goes right under his glove for a single. Nunez never made it to the ball, just doesn't have the range, and Nunez is on with a single, and Nunez is always a threat to steal, tremendous speed, so Cologne's going to throw over a couple of times, but there he goes, and he's safe at second base. So Nunez steals second. Panic, the batter. Here's a pitch from Cologne to Panic. It's a 6-5, and that's a fly ball lifted to left. Mets left fielder Cespedes. And that's 2 away, and it's going to be Moore, the Giants pitcher now. So 1-9er, and that's a swing and a miss, and Moore down on strikes. For the third out, the Giants strand 1 at second base, and after 4, it's 3-2 Mets. And the top of the 5th inning is going to be Cespedes, Walkers, and Flores. And that's a 5-3. It's going to be off Moore's card. A 5-3 is ball 4. So Cespedes walks. And it's Neil Walker. Neil Walker homered in the, what was it, third, in the 3rd inning. And it's a 1-10, and that's a ball is grounded up the middle and through for a base hit. And Cespedes is going to try for 3rd, and he's safe. So runners on 1st and 3rd now for the Mets. Yoenis Cespedes got a little frisky there and made it safely to 3rd base. And here's Wilmer Flores, runners on 1st and 3rd. Infield's going to be back. They're willing to concede the run at this point early in the game. Actually, you know what? The infield's going to be in. It's the top of the 5th, down by a run. Infield in. It's 6-6. So it's going to be a strikeout. So Flores swings and misses. Out number 1. And that's strikeout number 4 for Matt Moore. There's action in the Giant bullpen. And in a close game, that may be all for Moore. Going to take a quick peek at what's going on in the bullpen. We've got Smith and Guerin. We've got, looks like Jake Peavy as well. And Jake Peavy it is. So a quick hook by Bruce Bochy, and it's going to be Jake Peavy getting the call from the bullpen to replace Matt Moore here in what's a pretty close game. A very close game. So it's going to be Travis d'Arnaud. Jake Peavy was 5-9 with a 5.54 ERA. Here's the pitch. It's going to be a 6-3 A 6-3 is a ground ball right back to the pitcher, X. Our pitcher is a 2. That's a 15. And that's going to be a ground ball. Pitcher turns around over to second, back to with the infield in. That's right, we had the infield in, so we got to look at that now. Infield in. Ground ball, run around third, holes. So 1-3. Goes to first base with that. And there's 2 outs now. Second and third. And Ruggiano. Justin Ruggiano, part-time player for the Mets. And that's a 5-2 off of Peavy's card. A 5-2 is a fly ball lifted to deep center field. Back goes Span to the track and makes a fine running catch for the 3rd out in that inning there, in the top of the 5th. So Mets lead at 3-2. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. The Mets leave 2 on. And it was Jake Peavy who came in and did his job. That's going to be Span, Pagan, and Belt in the bottom of the 5th inning. Three-4. He's lifted to right field. Deaza there, out number 1. Pitch to Angel Pagan. Angel Pagan batted .277 with 12 home runs. 5-5 off of Colon. That's a shortstop. X13. Shortstop X13. Our shortstop is a 2. And that's Cabrera. Feels it, guns it to first, and gets Pagan by a step. So Brandon Belt now. It's the pitch to Belt, a 4-6 off Colon's card. A ground ball, second base X. And that's a 10. Second baseman's a 3, and he boots it. Walker boots it, so that's Belt on first on the Walker error. So Buster Posey now, the tying run is on base, and Buster Posey, who batted .288 with 14 home runs. Here's the pitch from Colon. It's a 5-9 off Colon's card, and that's a deep drive, and that ball is hit deep to center field. Back goes Mets center fielder Ruggiano to the track, to the wall. That's out of here. 2-run shot for Buster Posey, and the Giants lead it by a score of 4-3. That Walker error that extended the inning really came back to haunt the Mets, and Colon wishes he had that pitch back, and there's action, immediate action in the Mets bullpen now. Brandon Crawford. Here's the pitch, 3-8, and that's going to be a line drive base hit for Crawford, and that looks like it's going to be all for Bartolo. Big sexy Colon. And it's going to be Hansel Robles coming in for the Mets. And Robles had a pretty good season. Hansel Robles was 6-4 with a 3.48 ERA in 78 innings pitched. And he's going to replace Colon here in the bottom of the 5th. The Giants lead it on the 2-run homer by Buster Posey after the 2-out error by Walker. Crawford on at first now. And here's Hunter Pence. Pence is 0 for 2 on the day. He grounded out and flied out. Here's the pitch, 5-7, and that's going to be off Robles, and that's a 7. That's ball 4. So first and second. And Nunez, the batter. It's the pitch to Nunez. Nunez is 1 for 2 and a stolen base. It's going to be a 3-8. A 3-8 is a deep drive, and that ball is out of here. 3-run home run by Nunez. Scoring Crawford Pence. A 3-run shot that puts the Giants up by a score of 7-3. And it's going to be a call to the bullpen for the Mets. And it looks like it's going to be Reed now. No, it's going to be Goodell. Eric Goodell is coming in. Eric Goodell was 2-2 with a 5.54 ERA. Going to pitch to Joe Panic. 3-run shot, and Robles wishes he had that pitch back. And it's going to be Joe Panic now. That's going to be a 5-4. 5-4 is a catcher's card X. Catcher's a 3, that's a 13. It's a foul out. F2 for the third out, but the damage has been done in the bottom of the 5th. After 2 outs, the error by Walker prolonged the inning, and that led to 5 runs. And it's now 7-3. Giants going to the top of the 6th. It's going to be De Aza in the pitcher spot. Here's the pitch from Peavy. 1-7. 1-7 is a ground ball right back to Belt. Takes it himself, 1 away. Pinch hitter, Jay Bruce. Two, 4, and that's a ground ball to third base. Nunez. Nunez fields it, guns it to first, 2 away. And it's going to be Reyes. Reyes is 0 for 2, a walk and scored a run. 6-8 off Peavy's card. 6. 6-8 is going to be ball 4, so Reyes on with a walk. Next is Cabrera. Cabrera's 2 for 3, a double and a single. Driven in 2. And that's a 2-6, and that's ball 4. Hello there, man. Happy Cinco de Mayo, Al. Bob, how are you, Bob? And it's first and second. There's 2 outs in the top of the 6th. The Giants lead it 7-3. It's Cespedes against Jake Peavy. Here's Cespedes, 3-7. That's a hard hit ground ball right at the shortstop, who steps on the bag for the force for out number 3. Go to the bottom of the 6th. 7-3 Giants. This is going to be the pitcher spot. Peavy's going to bat. And Peavy is a 2. So let's see, hitting card 2. Oh no, batting 3 actually. He's a batting 3. Batting 3, and that's a 1-7, and that's a ground ball to second baseman Walker. So 1 away now, and it's Span leading off. Span hit a home run, a 2-run shot back in the 3rd inning. And that's going to be a 2-5. It's a ground ball right back to Flores. Takes it himself. Out number 2. And it's Angel Pagan. It's a 7-3 Giants lead here. Pagan 3-10. And that's a line drive base hit center field for Pagan. 2-out single. So Pagan is on at first. Belt up now. Belt is 1 for 2. He doubled, walked, and reached down an error. A 2-out error by Neil Walker that allowed 5 runs to score, or led to 5 runs scoring. 6-3. That's going to be off good. Our pitcher did not announce the new pitcher for the Mets. Reed. Addison Reed. And that's a 6-3 off Reed's card. A 6-3 is a fly ball right field X. Our right fielder is De Aza, a 3. That's a 4. And that's going to off his glove. Off his glove. And stopping at third is Pagan. So it's an E9, allowing Bell to make it to second base. Pagan had to stop at third base. 4. Let's double check that. It's a 2-base error on De Aza. So runners on second and third now with 2 outs, and it's Buster Posey. Here's the pitch to Posey by Addison Reed. 3-10. It's a pop-up to the right side, and that's Walker there. He waits for it, and that's out number 3. So the Giants leave 2 here in the bottom of the 6th. It's 7-3 Giants going to the top of the 7th inning. It's going to be Walker, Flores, and d'Arnaud against Jake Peavy. 4-8. And that's going to be a line drive base hit for Walker. So Walker's 3 for 3. Next is Wilmer Flores. 5-6. That's off Peavy's card. 5-6 is a strikeout. So out number 1. d'Arnaud, Travis d'Arnaud, runners on first base, Walker on first. The pitch at d'Arnaud, 5-6 off of Peavy's card. That's a strikeout. Strikeout number 2 for Peavy. Out number 2 in the inning. And next is Justin Ruggiano. Had to make a card for Justin Ruggiano. Didn't really have a card. It was not carded by Strat, so I just kind of write in his name and find an equivalent card. And he's got not many at bats. I think he's got 30 or 40 at bats with the Mets. So I'm not really worried. That's about what, 10 games. So not really worried about it. And if you see my tower, I actually save all the names of the players that I create and I stick them to the tower. That's what I started doing. So I have them there. Next time I need it again, I just pull the name off and put it on a card. So that's what's great about these kind of generic cards that they have. It's not that easy to create a player. History Maker Baseball allows you to create players pretty easily. So that's a nice thing as well. I really like that. With Appa is a little bit different. I got to go and I don't know Appa all that well in terms of the algorithm, if you will, and I have to, I know they're online. I go online and there's actually a website where you can create a quick card for a guy, but then you got to print it out, and it's a whole series of steps, for Appa. So yeah, these are great. These cards are amazing. They have them for the pitchers. They have them for the. I have a whole bunch here. I'll show them to you so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, here they are. These are all for pitcher cards. Estimated pitching record, and more or less, gives you an idea of what is what. Average. I mean, you could use the pitcher batting cards a lot of times. You could even use that. I mean, it's 1 to 8, right? But these also give you extra cards. Pitcher, and then here you have your batting. This guy is a good power. He has an average of 260. He walks good, and his strikeouts are good, or poor rather. So this guy is poor strikeout, good walk, average 260. I know that these are two identical cards. So anybody who's 250, poor walk frequency, anyway, average power. So anyway, that's why I do it. So I showed you. I showed you my secrets. Okay, so there's 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning. And Peavy struck out Flores and then struck out Darno, and now it's going to be Justin Ruggiano. And it's 4-7. That's going to be off Peavy's card, a 4-7. It's going to be a line drive into the gap, and it's going to be cut off quickly, and Ruggiano is held to a single. Ruggiano is held to a single, and that's going to be hustling over to third. It's going to go Walker, so it's first and third, runners on the corners now. That's a second hit for Ruggiano. He's 2 for 4 on the day. And it's be Alejandro de Aza. Now, Alejandro de Aza batted .205 with 6 home runs and 230 at-bats. Here's the pitch to de Aza. That's going to be a 4-10, so that's going to be off Peavy's card, a 4-10. It's going to be a fly ball, center field, X. And the Giant center fielder is Span, and Span is a... Usually write it down, did not write it down. I know most of them. Span is a 2 center fielder. We rolled a 13. So that's a 2-13, and that's a ball that Span runs down for out number 3. So the Mets leave 2 here in the top of the 7th, and it's a 7-3 Giant lead going to the bottom of the 7th. All right, it's going to be Crawford, Pence, and Nunez against Reed. Brandon Crawford, the batter. Brandon Crawford is 1 for 3 on the day. He's singled. Here's the pitch to Crawford. It's a 6-3. It's a fly ball right field X. Our right fielder is a 3. That's a 10. And that's an out. De Aza makes a nice catch. And it's Pence is next. Hunter Pence is 0 for 2. He walked and scored a run. And that's a 5-8. 5-8 is a ground ball shortstop X again. And that's a 5. Asdrubal Cabrera is a 2. He feels that, guns it to first. Out number 2. And it's Eduardo Nunez. Started off his career with the Yankees. Say 3-11. 3-11. That's a hard hit ground ball. And that's through into left field for a single. Made it through the hole there. And it's Joe Panic, run around first, 2 outs. Joe Panic, here's the pitch from Madison Reed. And that's a 4-12 off Reed's card. It's a ground ball. Easy for Walker. And that's out number 3. So we go to the top of the 8th now, 7-3 Giants. It's going to be Jake Peavy. We're going to see a pinch hitter for the Mets. It's going to be Loney for Reed in the top of the 8th. Let's pull out James Loney. Where is he floating around? There he is. Okay. James Loney's going to bat for the Mets. Here's the pitch from Peavy. That's a 3-5, and that's a line drive base hit for Loney, so Loney's on with a single. Reyes, the top of the order for the Mets now. A little action in the Giant bullpen. 1-4. That's a hard hit ground ball right at Crawford. He over to second baseman. Panic back to first. 6-4-3. Double play, 2 outs. Run around first is erased, and it's Cabrera who's 2 for 3 on the day with a walk. It's going to be a 4-8. A 4-8 is a line drive base hit for Cabrera. That's his 3rd hit of the game. And it's Yoenis Cespedes. Cespedes is 1 for 3. That's going to be a 4-3. And it's a fly ball left field. Left fielder is Pagan. I imagine Pagan is a 2. And no, he's a 3. So Pagan a 3. We rolled a 17. And that's a ball that Pagan gets under for out number 3. Okay, so that's it for 7.5 innings of play. It's 7-3 Giants. PC year of the pitcher this week. Lots of fun. Yeah, 68. Actually, last week I bought 3 sets. I bought 69, 68, and 67. And next I'm going to get 66, 65. I bought 64 from a guy, so I'm just waiting for the next sale. I want to get the 60s and the 70s. They have to come out with the 70s. I don't see too many 70s there. Like the early 70s, 71. I really like 71 because I want to play with Roberto Clemente. Yeah, I want to play with Roberto Clemente, so I want 70, 71, 72, 73 I have already. 74, but Strat does not offer those at this moment, card-wise. So we're going to the bottom of the 8th. It's going to be the pitcher, Peavy, and we're going to let him bat again because I'm not in the mood to make any pitching changes for the team winning by 4 at this point. So it's 6-3, and for the Mets, we need a new pitcher. And it's going to be Josh Edgin. Show you another trick. This card has 2 pitchers on it. Both these pitchers were almost identical in terms of ERA and innings pitched and so on. So I just put them basically on one card to make my life easier. So that's how I did that. And again, this is one of those estimated pitching records. Very poor. These guys had ERAs like 5 or 6. So I said poor is poor. Nice. 60, 63, 64. Yeah, those are all the seasons I want. I want from about 63 up because I like one of my favorite players is Sandy Koufax. I think he was like the most amazing lights out pitcher ever. Have you ever tried OOTP PC game? No. That's all season. Wow, that's great. Cool. Yeah. No, I play Dynasty computer, and I'm in so many leagues that keeps me really busy, and then plus rolling the dice, Yeah, Koufax, man, he had 60. I think, was it 64, 65, 66? I think those 3 years, or was it 63, 64, 65? 60. There's one year, I think it's 64, that he has only 19 wins, and that was a down year. Yeah, that was a bad year for. He won only 19 games. I think he was like 19-7, and that was terrible. That's the kind of player we're talking about. That's the year that players dream of having today. That was a down year for him. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's mind-boggling. I mean, he won the pitcher triple crown 3 times. Most strikeouts, most wins, and lowest ERA. The guy was just out of this world. Okay, so anyway, Josh Edgin is coming in. He will pitch to Peavy, Span, and Pagan. All right. All right, so Jake Peavy's going to bat, and Peavy we said was a 3. So that's a 5-11 off of Edgin. 5-11 is a ground ball first baseman X. Flores is a 4. And a 4, we rolled a 5, and that's down the line. And by Flores, that's going to be for a double. So Jake Peavy hits a double and leads off. He's at second base. It's going to be Span now against Josh Edgin. And that's a 5-2 now. 5-2. It's a ground ball right to the first baseman. Over to third is Peavy. It's 3 unassisted, 1 away. Pagan next. Here's the pitch from Edgin. 1-6, and that's a ground ball, hard hit right at the shortstop. Infield is in, so they're gonna look Peavy back to third. 2 away now, and Belt 3-7, and that's all 4. So Belt with his second walk. First and third now. Runners on the corners. Here's Buster Posey, a chance to drive in a couple more runs. And that ball is lined and caught by Reyes at third base for out number 3. So the Giants leave 2 men on here in the bottom of the 8th. We go to the top of the 9th. 7-3. Giants lead it. And in the 9th inning, it's going to be 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. It's going to be Walker now. Walker leading it off against Jake Peavy. Walker is 3 for 3. And it looks like they're going to bring in Kelly Johnson. Looks like Walker may be injured. They're going to bring in Kelly Johnson. Yeah, all right, so it's going to be Kelly Johnson batting for Walker. Top of the 9th. Here's the pitch to Kelly Johnson from Jake Peavy. And that's a 5-7. A 5-7 is a strikeout. So Johnson down on strikes. For out number 1 here in the top of the 9th, the Giants lead at 7-3. Giants hit 3 home runs. Span hit 1, Posey hit 1, and Nunez hit a 3-run shot. For the Giants, it was Walker. Flores, Wilmer Flores now. Flores is 0 for 4, struck out 3 times. So 1 more, and he's got the golden sombrero on Cinco de Mayo. A lot of numbers there. I hope you're good at math. 3-3. 3-3. It's lined and caught by Crawford for out number 2. A lot of Spanish words. Got to have your Spanish dictionary out. Cinco de Mayo and the sombrero. You just missed the golden sombrero by 1 strikeout. So Flores ends the day 0 for 5. And here's Travis d'Arnaud. Here's the pitch from Peavy. It's going to be 6-10 off Peavy's card. Ground ball, shortstop, X. Crawford is a 1. That's a 17. And that's one that Crawford gets to in the hole and makes the throw to first just in time to get the slow-footed d'Arnaud for out number 3. And the game is over. Mets lose it by a score of 7-3. Mets are now 66 and 56, and then with this game they're 66 and 57, so they're 9 games over 500 after 123 games. So we're making some headway in our season. Got about 40 games to go. It's getting tough right now. Yep, exactly, into September. But hey, listen, I started last year. I think it was in February, end of February, beginning of March. And I played until June 16th when I traveled for about 2 months. I went to the Northeast and I didn't take my setup because I got a whole table here going on. Real comfortable with lamps set up and, dice and everything. And anyway, I was out there in the Northeast for about 2 months, and then I came back and I started a new job. So I started playing some other things, playing some Strat, but replaying World Series. So I didn't get back to this season until about 2 months ago. So I'm making pretty good headway here. I started last year. I stopped in June. In other words, I played a game a day, and I kept up with the season, replaying my 2016 season. And Mets, in 2016 were still pretty good. They made it all the way to the a one-game wild card against the Giants, and they lost 3-0 off the. I think it was the Gillespie three-run shot off of Familia, I believe it was. Very depressing. But anyway, I thought that the Mets were much better than that. Yeah, I finished the '73 World Series. It's up somewhere. It's up. So you look for it and it's up there. I finished the '73 World Series. I believe I'm not sure if I. Oh yeah, I did it with Strat because I have the '73 year and I remember pulling those two teams out. I actually have them floating around here somewhere. Let me see. Is this it? No, that's Detroit. New York. I also played the 2012 Detroit New York series and the 2006, I believe, St. Louis Mets series. So that's all up there. Yeah, Strat's a lot of fun. Strat's cool. And and that's it for this game. 7-3. Mets lose it. They dropped to 66 and 57. Oh man, I love the old school stuff, but I guess I'm old school. But yeah, athleticism. I don't know. It seems that these guys are so strong and they lift 500 pounds and they work out so much and they have all these trainers and all this science behind them. And every time they run to first, they pull a groin muscle. Okay, or every time they slide head first, they jam a finger or they jam a thumb. It's like I just don't want to hear it anymore. I'm just sick of it. Every guy needs elbow surgery. Tommy John surgery is rampant. What is going on? Guys pitch. They had a no hitter with 4 pitchers yesterday. I mean, come on. The guy had 93 pitches in 6 innings. I mean, what how, why not? Why can't he pitch 130 pitches? Maybe the next inning he would have gotten out of it with 4 pitches. The one after that with 6 pitches. I mean, what do they protect? The more you protect them, it seems the more they get hurt. I don't know. I'm just, I guess, frustrated with this. Um, you know, who was it? Corey Seager just out for the season with Tommy John. He's not even a pitcher. He's a shortstop. I mean, he sometimes he can go a whole game and not throw somebody to throw a grounder to first base. I know they throw in between innings, but come on. I mean, you're lobbing it between innings. You don't have to throw your hardest. I don't even know what to think anymore. Just today, you're going to have so many injuries today. Every single one of these amazing athletes who are striking out nonstop. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, guys have, 70 at bats and they have 50 strikeouts. I mean, what's your job? Isn't your job to hit the ball? I mean, 181 pitches. He has a 65 no hitter versus Chicago. Exactly. And those guys were fine. But I mean, I really don't know what to tell you because I know that I was reading up on Sandy Koufax. Sandy Koufax, they told him he couldn't pitch anymore because of his arm after 12 seasons. So I don't know. Was it because he was pitching 300 innings every year? I don't know. Is it just genetics that allows guys to be able to pitch 300 innings, whether they're lifting weights or following a very rigid, diet? Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, all right. He had arthritis, but I mean, that's weird because he had an amazing season, and all of a sudden he's gone. And I read that his doctor told him, yeah, Koufax. I read that his doctor told him that he couldn't pitch anymore or else. So he just quit. Yeah, that's nuts. Is it? I gotta get I want to read a biography of Sandy Koufax. Took too long to prepare for a start. Well, yeah. I mean, I'd like to know more about what happened to him, because he's just his numbers are just uh, uh, magnificent and mesmerizing and unreal. You know, they're surreal. I mean, you look at his numbers. My goodness, an ERA pitches 300 innings and his ERA is like 170 or 160. Holy moly! You know, crazy, crazy. What a pitcher! My goodness. So anyway, yeah, yeah, unbelievable. No, I don't, I haven't. What other guy had those kind of statistics that we can talk about of 20 mid 20 wins and 300 innings pitched and 350 strikeouts and an ERA of 1.70 or 1.60. But anyway, that's all right. I ranted a little bit on what's going on today with baseball, with all these pitcher injuries. The other day, Jason DeGrom having an amazing season, like a 170 ERA up to this point for the month of April. Gets through an inning, 1, 2, 3, and all of a sudden, he's out. He's done. He hyper flexed or hyperextended his elbow. I think it was in an at bat. I mean, these guys are, super athletes. Okay, him hyperextending his elbow in a baseball game is equivalent to me hyperextending mine, eating cereal for breakfast. Oh, I lift a spoon. Oh, I'm hyperextended. Come on. Yeah, it has to be something that's going on. It's just too much training. I also attribute it to, and I've talked about a couple of guys about this before, I attribute it to that guys are playing since they're 6 years old. And they're throwing and they're protecting them since they're 6 years old. Yeah, exactly. So they're training them since they're 6 years old, and they're specializing and they're throwing and they're doing drills and they're practicing days off and all that. And I think that adds up. So when you get to be 22 or 24 or 26, and you've now been playing since you're 6, that's 20 years. I mean, when I was a kid, I played high school ball, and, that was it. You played a couple of months, it was high school ball. You played a couple of months, and it was over. And, and you played a little bit in Little League. You played some games in Little League, and there wasn't, camps and coaches and select year-round ball where you're traveling and all this stuff that's going on, and all these videos and all these books written about, how best to train and so forth. So I think that has something to do with it, that the guys have been playing since they're 6 years old, and stuff just wears out. Just think of a car who's, you've driven all over the country with. Hey, you better change those tires. You better get it a tune-up. Once you put a lot of miles on it, you better give it a tune-up. You better change those tires. That sort of thing. Battery runs out, and that's what's happening with these guys. Their battery, their tires, they need tune-ups. And but I don't know, man. Look at Harvey. Look what happened to Harvey. Harvey was a superstar, and all of a sudden, boom. Fall of the Harvey Empire, just crashed and burned. Designated for assignment. One doesn't want to. If he was a smart guy, he would say, you know what, send me down to the minors. Let me work out the kinks. Let me figure this out. Let me come back. I'll come back a new pitcher. He said, no, I'm not going to minors. I'm too good. Well, guess what, Mr. Harvey? You're in for a big surprise if you go to another team. If you want to play baseball, you're going to go to another team, and they're going to say, hey, you're going to go down to minors because based on your 7.0 ERA, 7.00 ERA, we can't find a place for you anywhere right now. So you're going to have to work out your kinks somewhere else, and then come back and join us. And any team will be welcome to have him if he's pitching up to standard. So anyway, all right. It was good chit-chatting with you guys. Those are my frustrations on what's going on with baseball. In my own personal life, my son, who's a varsity shortstop, he fractured his wrist, crashed into the first baseman, fell, put his wrist down to break his fall, and fractured his wrist, scaphoid wrist fracture. and it's been 8 weeks now. His team is in the second round of the playoffs. He's the starting shortstop for that team. They're going to the second round now in the San Antonio high school playoffs, varsity. And super duper disappointing. Great that the team is doing great. That's exciting, but it's very disappointing that he's not on the field as part of it. Yeah. So that's a huge hole in my heart at this point. You know, my son is another one who's played since he's 5 and 6 years old, preparing for high school ball. And this was his junior year. Next year is his senior year. He wants to play college ball, and he lost the opportunity. He played 1/3 of the season and lost 2/3 of the season. And now he says if they go to the third round, we have to go back to the specialist on Friday for another set of X-rays. It's been 8 weeks. This is the same injury that Simeon, I think his name is, on the A's had. He had a fractured wrist. Wow. Okay. Yes, it's a scaphoid wrist fracture, and Simeon had it with the A's, and I think he was able to come back after 2 or 3 months. So he's going to be at 2 months now. So we'll see what the X-rays show, and maybe they'll be able to give him a shot, and he can make it back in a couple more weeks. After 10 weeks, he'll be able to make it back. We'll see. It all depends on the X-ray and what the specialist says. So otherwise, they already signed him up for select ball in the Northeast with the. Thank you, man. I appreciate you guys, Al. They already signed him up for playing over in Brooklyn, New York, with the Bonnies, the Brooklyn Bonnies. They're a 17-18U team, and they're calling him for tournaments in June and all that. And he signed up here in San Antonio with the Mud Dogs already, so they're waiting for him to get better and to join those teams. So everybody's just kind of waiting right now and see what the X-ray shows. The last X-ray was pretty good. It was pretty thumbs up. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever heard of the Brooklyn Bonnies, but they have a pretty big organization. They've been around a long time, and they train kids from all the way from t-ball all the way up to post high school ball. They have teams, and they play in Connecticut and Long Island and in New Hampshire, and they've taken my son to Ohio, Tennessee. And by the way, in Tennessee, a couple of years ago, he broke his wrist on a fastball. It was the other side of the wrist. So anyway, it is what it is, and I'll see you guys soon. I'll probably play another game today. I missed a couple of games during the week, but I got to go celebrate Cinco de Mayo. I got to go on my bike a little bit, and then I'll be back. So I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for being around, Bob and Al, and I'll see you guys later. Take care now. Let's lose it 7-3. Cologne gets the loss. I think he's 9-10 now, and Matt Moore gets the win, I believe. Jake Peavy comes through big for the Giants in this one. Take care, guys.